They say every artist hides a truth inside their work. But for Milo Ren, a quiet sculptor who turned scrap metal into beauty, the truth was about to shatter him like glass. The city woke to chaos after Dr. Leora Vance, a beloved botanist researching a rare plant compound that could cure respiratory diseases, was found murdered with a single shot. Clean, precise, intentional. Hours later, the unlicensed .38 revolver used to kill her was discovered in the trash bin behind Milo's studio. Wrapped in a bronze-colored cloth, still warm, still smelling of gun smoke. And that was the moment Milo's life collapsed. Officer Kemi Ajayi, sharp-eyed and famously unshakable, arrested him on the spot. When she unrolled the cloth, Milo's breath died in his throat. The fabric was his signature studio rag. The internet erupted. #sculptor killer everywhere. Strangers ripping apart his name, his art, even his dead mother's photo. But Milo stayed silent, because there was one thing he hadn't told police. He had seen that exact cloth missing 2 nights before, the same night he saw a strange silhouette limping near his studio, dragging a left foot. He dismissed it. He shouldn't have. Inside interrogation, Milo trembled. "I don't know anything about a gun," he whispered. Kemi wasn't buying it. The evidence was too clean, too perfect, too convenient. But then came the first crack. Dr. Leora wasn't just a botanist. She was secretly working on a plant strain that could clean toxic air faster than any machine. A discovery worth billions and dangerous to the wrong people. Suddenly, another name surfaced. Damon Tarlow, billionaire industrialist, cruelty behind a charming smile, resident of Leora's building, known for obsessively collecting Milo's sculptures. Detective Kemi dug deeper and found security footage of Damon entering Milo's alley the night Milo saw the limping figure. But Damon had no limp. So who was the shadow? And why was Damon anywhere near Milo's studio? As Kemi pushed harder, the truth cracked open. Damon's personal bodyguard, Rufus Vale, had a permanent limp in his left foot and had vanished the night of the murder. The case flipped, hard. Milo wasn't the hunter, he was the prey. Evidence re-examined showed metal shavings on the cloth, shavings from one of Milo's unfinished sculptures. Fresh shavings. Someone had been inside his studio that night. Someone who knew what to take, where to plant the gun, how to make it look natural. And inside the gun, a sliver of metal from an alloy Milo used only in one sculpture, a sculpture he sold to Damon Tarlow a week earlier. Suddenly, the billionaire wasn't just suspicious, he was connected. Kemi prepared a warrant, but Damon walked into the station first. Calm, ice cold. He placed a USB on her desk. "You'll want to see this," he said. On the screen appeared Dr. Leora Vance's greenhouse, and Milo, standing beside her, hours before her death. Milo's heart slammed in his chest. "I've never been there. That's not me." But the video showed his exact face, his exact clothes, his exact stance. Except for one detail. The man in the video had a slight limp in the left foot. Kemi zoomed in. The face flickered, a glitch, a shimmer. Someone had overlaid Milo's face onto another man's body, a man who limped, a man who wanted Milo destroyed, a man who knew how to manipulate footage. And then, the door opened. Rufus Vale stepped in, dragging his left foot, wearing a crooked smile like he'd been waiting for applause. "Looking for me?" Kemi reached for her gun, but Rufus raised his hands casually. "You're chasing the wrong villain. And by the time you figure out who really killed the botanist, it'll already be too late." He tossed a phone on the table. It vibrated. A countdown blinked on the screen. 00010, 0009. Milo stared. Kemi froze. Rufus whispered, "Part 2 starts with the explosion." The countdown flashed on the phone, 0008, 0007, and in that split second, Officer Kemi lunged forward, grabbed the device, and slammed it face down as Rufus Vale backed towards the door with a lazy smirk like he was untouchable. Milo stumbled away from the table, breath shaking, heart pounding so loudly he could barely hear Kemi shout for backup. But when the task force rushed in, Rufus didn't run. He simply lifted his hands and said, "You think the bomb is in this building?" The phone hit 0003. Kemi swore under her breath. She kicked it across the floor, 0002, and milled her arms around Milo, dragging him behind her, 0001, and the screen hit 0. Silence. Utter silence. Then Rufus chuckled. Wrong building. Kemi's blood ran cold. She snatched up the phone. A new message blinked. Check the greenhouse. The place where Dr. Leora Vance died. Rufus whispered, "You're already too late." But Kemi shoved him into custody and bolted from the room, dragging Milo with her, because if Rufus was telling the truth, they had minutes to stop something catastrophic. Sirens howled as they sped towards the greenhouse. Milo's mind raced. Why Leora's greenhouse? Why go back there? Kemi gripped the wheel, because that's where the evidence is. When they arrived, the greenhouse was glowing, lights on, vents steaming, machines humming. But something was wrong. The plants inside were shriveled, burned, like someone had intentionally sabotaged her research. Kemi and Milo stormed inside and immediately saw it. Another timer strapped to Leora's main ventilation system, 0059. Kemi moved fast, ripping wires, calling bomb squad, guiding Milo away. But Milo wasn't listening. He saw something in the corner, a figure slumped near the potting table. He rushed forward and froze. It was Damon Tarlow, his face pale, his breathing thin, a syringe on the floor, a note pinned to his jacket. Kemi read it aloud. "He made me do it." Milo whispered, "Who?" Damon coughed, pointing to a shelf. A small tablet lay there. Recorded footage was open. Rufus Vale, confessing, explaining everything. He killed Dr. Leora. Damon helped cover it up at first, thinking Rufus was protecting him, but then Rufus threatened Damon's family. The murder weapon? Rufus planted it. The cloth? Rufus stole it from Milo's studio days before. The metal shaving inside the gun? Planned to make Milo look guilty. The manipulated footage? Rufus again. Damon's voice cracked in the recording. He said if I didn't cooperate, he would kill my daughter. I never meant for Milo to suffer, but Rufus said framing a nobody artist would keep investigators busy. Milo stared at Damon, torn between fury and horror. Damon whispered, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." But before he could say more, the bomb timer hit 00210 and sparks shot from the wires. Kemi yelled for Milo to get out, but Milo shook his head. "This is my mess too." He grabbed the instruction manual Leora kept for her ventilation system. He remembered how she annotated everything. Her neat handwriting circled a line. Fail-safe override. Always deactivate coolant first. He shouted it to Kemi. She sliced the coolant line wires. The timer paused at 001.23, then restarted, but much slower. Kemi worked quicker, cutting, rerouting, stopping one wire from sparking against another. Bomb squad finally burst through the door, swarming the device, finishing the last sequence. 0004, 0003, 0002, and then a long beep. Deactivated flashed across the screen. Milo collapsed against the table, shaking from relief. Kemi exhaled so hard, her shoulders slumped. Damon, still barely conscious, whispered, "Rufus, he's not done." He said, "If the bomb fails, he'll burn it all." Milo frowned. What does that mean? Kemi answered before he could finish. He means he has a backup plan. And she was right, because back at the station, officers were screaming. Rufus was gone, not escaped, not forced out. He had walked out of his cell, calm, smirking. He left a single message on the bench. The truth burns. Milo and Kemi raced back to the city, sirens blaring, trying to guess where Rufus had gone. But the answer came to them before they arrived. Smoke, rising from the skyline, not from the greenhouse, not from Damon's building, but from Milo's studio. His life, his work, his entire world burning. They arrived to see flames chewing through his sculptures, metal screaming in the heat. Rufus stood across the street watching it burn like it was a show staged just for him. Milo ran towards him, fury exploding inside him, but Rufus raised a single finger. "You want the truth?" Milo stopped. "You want to know why she died?" Kemi aimed her weapon. "Stand down, Rufus." He ignored her. His eyes locked with Milo's. He leaned in, voice dropping. "She didn't kill her over plans, or money, or research." He leaned in, voice dropping. "She died because she found something. Something buried inside your sculpture." Milo froze. "What?" Rufus smirked. "Ask yourself, why did she buy a sculpture from you the week before she died?" Milo's face twisted. "She never bought anything from me." Rufus's smile widened. "Exactly." Then he whispered 4 words that flipped the entire case upside down. "Someone else used your art." Kemi lunged forward to arrest him, but Rufus stepped back into the flames like they welcomed him, disappearing behind a collapsing wall. Milo stared at the fire. His voice cracked. What did she find? What was hidden? Who used my sculpture? Kemi placed a hand on his shoulder. This isn't over, but it ends with the truth. And for the first time, Milo understood. Leora hadn't been killed over a gun, or a plant, or a billionaire. She had been killed over something inside his work, something he never put there, something someone else did, someone still out there, someone who wanted the truth to burn. But tonight, justice began. Rufus was exposed. Damon confessed. Milo was cleared. And the final secret, whatever Leora found inside that sculpture, would be the key to exposing everything. Kemi whispered, "We'll find the last piece." Milo nodded. "We have to." The fire crackled behind them. The smoke curled into the sky. And the story finally ended not with fear, but with a promise. Justice always rises from the ashes.